Gates and Ben Elton are among the guests on the Brian Conley Show. After the news.
Missing Millie, police tell parents she's probably dead. Blair admits asylum deal is no instant solution. And players fly home as Beckham reveals a secret.
The ITV Weekend News with Nicholas Owen.
Good evening. The parents of the missing schoolgirl Amanda, or Millie Dowler, have been told by police their daughter is probably dead. Detectives have said Bob and Sally Dowler should expect the worst because 3 months of searching have failed to produce any trace of Millie. The news comes as the Dowlers prepare themselves for Millie's 14th birthday next Tuesday. Angus Walker reports.
Ever since Amanda, also known as Millie Dowler, went missing on March the 21st this year, the fear amongst her family and friends has been that she may not be found alive. Now, after a 3-month police investigation involving hundreds of officers, detectives have told her parents that she is probably dead. In a statement, they explain their reasons. There has been no actual evidence to suggest that Amanda is either dead or alive, but as time has gone on, the less likely it has become that she is alive. They have been told to expect the worst. Meanwhile, the hunt for Millie continues. It's still a missing persons inquiry. Sussex police, who solved the Sarah Payne murder case, have been assisting with the search. 2 men arrested and questioned about her disappearance have both been released without charge. Surrey police have made a stark, honest appraisal of the chances of Millie being found alive. For her parents, it's the worst possible news, especially as her 14th birthday is just 3 days away. Mr. and Mrs. Dowler are now expected to make a fresh statement revealing how they're coping with this devastating blow to the hopes of being reunited with their daughter. Angus Walker, ITV News, Staines Police Station.
European Union leaders meeting in Spain today agreed a raft of measures to try to tackle illegal immigration. Tony Blair said they were sensible and would target those involved in trafficking human misery. But he admitted the measures were limited and wouldn't solve headaches like the Songat refugee camp. From Spain, Juliet Bremner reports.
In league with his Spanish hosts, Tony Blair was determined this would be the summit remembered for cracking down on illegal immigration. He wanted to persuade other leaders to sign up to a raft of tough measures, with financial penalties against countries who wouldn't cooperate. But politics again had to take a backseat to football, the Spanish Prime Minister watching his team in the quarter-finals. Mr. Blair emerged from the final session with what he called sensible curbs against migrants, although he admitted it wouldn't provide an instant solution to the headache of the Songat refugee camp.
If we can stem the flow of people up to Songat and other places from third countries. So is it a complete answer? No, I can't. I'm not saying that. But it is significant steps forward that give us a better chance of dealing with this problem.
He insisted the intention wasn't to shut out legal migrants or penalise poor countries. The final agreement isn't as hard-hitting as Britain might have liked, but it is surely the kind of European compromise they must have anticipated. The first tentative steps towards tougher curbs against illegal immigrants have been taken, but there's no clue as to when or if they'll become law in the individual countries. Juliet Bremner, ITV News, Seville.
As today's summit took place, there were 2 more bomb blasts in Spanish holiday resorts. They were carried out by the Basque separatist group ETA. A car was blown up in Santander in northern Spain. Earlier, there was an explosion on the Costa del Sol. No one is believed to have been seriously injured in the blasts, which bring the total number of attacks this weekend to 5. Here, the England World Cup squad is expected back in a few hours' time. Before they left Japan, their captain, David Beckham, revealed that he'd secretly thought that the team really could win the competition. He said he'd kept his hunch quiet in case it unnerved the other players. Mark Austin watched them all leave.
Cradling their children rather than the World Cup, England's footballers are heading home this evening. David Seaman carrying his daughter to the coach after a game against Brazil he will desperately want to forget. But it was England's all-round performance yesterday that disappointed the captain David Beckham, who said today he always felt England would win this World Cup.
I'd been feeling throughout this competition that we was going to go all the way, personally. I'd not told anyone because I didn't want to upset anything, but I just had a funny feeling that we would go all the way, and, you know, we've not. So we have to work hard at things that have gone wrong, and we will, and we've got the team to.
This freak goal by Ronaldinho stunned England yesterday, but it was the way England failed to come back, even after Ronaldinho was sent off, that so upset Sven-Göran Eriksson.
If we shall regret something, it's that we should have done better. 11 against 10, but we were not able to do it yesterday, unfortunately. And it was a big opportunity, of course, to go further on.
He said his players were desperately tired in this World Cup and called once again for a mid-season break in the Premiership.
I don't know how far away we are from that, but it's something I will take up with the FA when I start work again, that's for sure.
Japanese fans have supported England all the way here, and today gave them a rousing send-off as they left their team hotel on Awaji Island.
Most of these players will be around in 4 years' time, of course, to have another crack at the World Cup, but the feeling will always linger that this was the one that got away.
So tonight, Michael Owen and his girlfriend and other players' family and friends boarded the aircraft for the long flight back. The families had only been out here since Thursday and clearly hoped their stay would be longer. But Beckham, whose wife and child did not come to Japan, says now they're out, they just want to be home.
I think that's the thing now. We just want to get home now because, you know, a lot of the families are over, but we have got still a lot of families at home that we just want to, you know, get home and see. Of course, we'd have rather been going home in 10 days' time, but as I said, it's not meant to be.
Sven-Göran Eriksson and his girlfriend Nancy were among the last to board. They'll all be home later tonight. This England team took the nation on an unexpected World Cup adventure, and the nation will thank them for it. Mark Austin, ITV News, Japan.
And we'll report today's World Cup quarter-finals later in the programme. Families of British nationals who died in the World Trade Center attacks in New York were today told they could receive compensation from the American government, but with conditions. They'll have to waive their right to sue the airlines, the World Trade Center or the American authorities. Relatives say they're very wary of the deal.
The fact that the fund comes with terms and conditions is obviously going to make people cautious of why those terms and conditions apply. They have been very upfront about explaining why that fact is, and it's an American policy decision, and one that's being debated hotly in America at the moment. And I think the same sorts of concerns are going to go back and forth here in the UK as well.
Rescuers are digging through rubble to find survivors of this morning's devastating earthquake in northwestern Iran. At least 500 people died and 1,600 were injured. The quake's epicenter was near the city of Qazwin, 150 miles west of the capital Tehran. It measured more than 6 on the Richter scale. Harry Smith reports.
Amid the rubble that was once a small town, they're still searching the ruins of their homes. Those who escaped unhurt have been joined by rescue teams from other parts of the country. Many of the injured have already been removed to overflowing local hospitals. This is already mainly a search for the dead. This is a mainly agricultural area. The first tremor hit early in the morning when most women and children were still at home, their men already working in the fields and vineyards. It was followed by several violent aftershocks, all felt 150 miles away in the capital, Tehran.
I feel that everything is moving, you know. Everything is moving. The table is moving and something like that. And, you know, I get that it's the earthquake because I knew about that.
Most of the buildings in this area are made of mud brick, a type of construction ill-equipped to withstand the earthquakes which are a regular occurrence here. Experts say the Iranian authorities are well prepared for the task that now faces them.
The Iranian Red Crescent are very well developed in disaster preparedness, so they produce their own tents, they have their own teams of specially trained people, their own vehicles, and that is why they're able to respond so quickly, and they actually have people on the ground now, basically 6-7 hours after the earthquake has hit.
And the people on the ground need all the help they can get. Along with the hundreds dead and injured, there are now up to 25,000 without a roof over their heads. Harry Smith, ITV News.
Now motor racing. The Williams driver Juan Pablo Montoya will start in pole position for tomorrow's European Grand Prix at Nürburgring. Montoya finished fastest in the final qualifying session, just ahead of his teammate Ralf Schumacher. Here's Richard Cook.
An improved capacity of more than 150,000 at the Nürburgring and a new hairpin bend on the first corner. A controversial addition to the circuit, David Coulthard calling it the worst piece of tarmac he's ever driven on. Despite his concerns, Coulthard emerged unscathed after the final qualifying session, a respectable fifth on the grid for tomorrow's race. But the McLaren driver finished some way behind the pace setters, Juan Pablo Montoya again setting the qualifying standard. He's been in pole for the last 2 races, and he's done it again, recording the quickest time of the day. It was less than 100th of a second faster than teammate Ralf Schumacher, but it didn't matter. Williams 1 and 2 on the grid. Behind them tomorrow, anonymous sight. World champion Michael Schumacher alongside Rubens Barrichello. Germany against Brazil, a possible World Cup final, a duel certain to influence the outcome of the race. Montoya, though, will be having other ideas. Second in the Drivers' Championship, he's got to win. Richard Cook, ITV News.
Back to the World Cup now, and as England return home, the upsets at the tournament continue. South Korea extended their incredible run by knocking out Spain in a dramatic penalty shootout. No such luck for Senegal, though, bidding to become the first African nation ever in a semi. A golden goal by Turkey put them out 1-0. Here's Graham Miller.
A busy 24 hours for Lord Nelson. After tears for England in Trafalgar Square, songs of joy today from Korean fans, celebrating their win over Spain that takes the co-hosts into the World Cup semi-finals. It's the most unexpected adventure of them all, even when Spain threatened. Good fortune was with the Koreans. Korea had never won a finals match 3 weeks ago. Now no one can stop them. The referee disallowed Spain that one for pushing. The Korean confidence, though, remained high. They tested the Spanish defence, and only some excellent keeping kept out Park Hee-sung and took the match into extra time. To be fair, the Koreans led a charmed life. Spain had a golden goal disallowed, the linesman ruling the initial cross out of play. Television proved him wrong. And just before half-time of extra time, Spain broke through again, but amazingly, Korea survived once more. With the minutes ticking away to a penalty shootout, Korea had one final chance to end it in open play, but the nerves got the better of Hang Sung-long. No place for nerves in the lottery. One decisive save from Lee Woon-jae meant it all rested on Hong Yong-bo. The Korean captain scored to make them the first Asian side to reach a World Cup semi-final. Once more the nation erupted into a party, not only inside the stadium but also on the streets. Poland, Portugal, Italy and now Spain have all fallen to this unstoppable force of team and supporters. Only Germany can now deny them a place in the final itself. Turkey will now play Brazil in the other semi after beating Senegal with a golden goal. Mind you, Hakan Suka should have sealed it well before then. It fell to substitute Ilhan to send the Turks into their first semi after a pulsating game. Turkish delight, but they've already lost to Brazil, remember, in the group stage. Graham Miller, ITV News.
A reminder of tonight's main news. The parents of the missing schoolgirl Amanda, or Millie Dowler, have been told by police their daughter is probably dead. Bob and Sally Dowler are expected to release a statement about Millie's disappearance tomorrow. And European Union leaders meeting in Spain have agreed a raft of measures to try to tackle illegal immigration. That's it for this evening. I'll be back with the ITV News tomorrow. From all the team, goodbye.